Good evening. Can you hear me? It's windy out. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Come on in. I'm waiting for some people to come in. Good evening. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? How are you all doing? Can you hear me? Good evening. Hope yes, all is well. All is well. It is so beautiful out. Listen, I came out to the park and I came out here to create some content. I love nature, so you may hear the airplane that's flying above me, but this park is so beautiful. I just wanted to talk about self-care today. That's it, just self-care. Just taking time out for yourself, just taking time out. Oh, thank you, Miss Mercedes. Thank you so much. I love you too, dear. I just want to take time out to just come talk to you about self-care. And a lot of times I think as women, especially moms, right? Mothers, we don't take the time out. Thank you, Carolo. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad you find my messages and my posts and my lives helpful. I've been through a lot to, be selfish and not come share with the world and talk about what I've experienced, right? I am full and running over. So, I really had to come and just share with the world. Maybe something I, say or share will help someone else, right? But I wanted to talk about self-care, and hopefully I don't be before you long. I say that all the time, but I still end up doing an hour live, still do 1 hour lives, But self-care sometimes looks like doing nothing, right? Just being spontaneous and not having anything planned on your agenda. Self-care looks like turning down invitations, right? You don't have to always go to where you're invited, right? Sometimes you just need that time for yourself, right? That's self-care. Self-care is being okay with saying no and being okay with not being present everywhere, right? Being present for yourself. That is self-care. Not even being present sometimes for your children. That may sound a little selfish, but you need to take that time out for yourself. Take that time out for you, right? And it's okay. Sometimes we feel guilty. I remember, and I'm going to show this story. This just came. Are you okay? Okay. I remember, that's my son. He's out here at the park with me. I remember one time for graduate school, when I graduated with my master's degree, I didn't celebrate a lot of the things that I did because I was so concerned with how people felt, right? How people were going to perceive me because I was elevating and I wanted to, break a generation of curse, that was on, my family. You know what I mean? I wanted to break that. I was a first generation graduate. And I remember when I planned on celebrating myself, I planned on taking myself on a trip or doing something I never did before. And I never been on a cruise ship. I never been on a cruise. I never had been on a cruise. So I said, you know what? For my graduation gift, I'm going to take myself on a cruise. So I said this to say, when I was planning the cruise, at this time I had 4 children. And when I was planning the cruise, I just felt a sense of guilt because I was going to be gone away from my children for 2 days, not even 3 days, 2 days. But I felt this sense of guilt because I was going to, leave my children, and I didn't want to, but I really wanted to celebrate my accomplishment because it was a big accomplishment for me, being a first generation graduate. But I felt so guilty. And as mothers, sometimes we can feel guilty, It doesn't mean that I didn't love my children less because I went on this trip for 2 days, right? It didn't mean that I was a bad mom. But in my head, to me, it felt like I was neglecting my children, right? Although I know I was a good mom, I just felt like I was neglecting them for some reason. And, self-care is being okay with doing some things that you love. And I was always a person that felt like I always had to include my children and include everyone and everything. Like, I don't have to include my children. It was some things that I had to deal within myself. I had to do things and deal with things within myself to see why I felt that my children had to be included in everything. Although I did so much for them. I did so much for them kids. I can tell you, we did so much together. I did a lot for them, but still I had this sense of guilt. And I know it came from my own, childhood issues that I had to deal with. It wasn't my children's fault, but that's what self-care is. Self-care is just identifying your own issues and dealing with them. That's what self-care is. Self-care is dealing with those things. I remember there was one time, and I talked to my daughters about this and we were laughing about it. But I remember one time I could not go into the store. If my children was with me, I could not go into the store without feeling guilty for not getting them something out of the store because of my own issues, right? Oh my goodness. I felt so guilty. Like, I said, girl, you need to get a grip. You need to handle yourself, right? Listen, if I still have sleep in my eyes, I just had a good nap. Listen, that was self-care. I stayed in the bed all day. I just got out of the bed. So if I look a little sleepy, listen, I was resting, right? I was taking care of me. But this is my sister. This is my shirt. I know you see my merch. Hi, Quest. This is my merchandise. I'm not a victim. I try to represent my own merchandise. Wear my own merch and, be present and active in that. But I felt so guilty. I couldn't go in the store without feeling like I had to get them something because of my own lack of, right? And I'm like, I had to stop that foolishness because them kids were, as long as you do and give, they'll take, okay? And it's not their fault now. I'm not blaming my kids or whatever. But I came to say, I'm out here at the park, so you'll see me moving around because I'm trying to create my own little makeshift stand because I left my tripod in the car by accident. But I used to feel so guilty because I didn't get them anything out of the store. Oh, but once the Lord started dealing with me, my no meter was on point. I started saying no and walking out boldly and not feeling guilty because I had my own traumas I had to deal with, right? Had my own issues I had to deal with for not having things growing up, certain things, right? I had to deal with that, right? So, sometimes when we messed our kids up too with this area. I know I was supposed to be talking about self-care, but let me tell you. Sometimes when we experience our own issues in childhood, we try to overcompensate as parents. We overcompensate with our children, right? We overcompensate with them and try to give them things that we didn't have. And we mess them up because the things that we didn't have really made us, right? The things that we didn't have made us who we are, right? So we have to stop that. We have to stop overcompensating. I had to learn to stop overcompensating and let my no be no, right? My no had to mean no. My no meant no, right? So I had to learn to get over that and deal with it and be okay. Parents, we have to be okay. I'm at the park, so you probably hear a lot of noise in the background. There's children out here. And parents, you got to be okay with telling your children no. It's okay to tell them no. Oh, I'm trying to open my juice. I got a juice. Hi, Lene. Lene, or is it Lene? Lene Cole, hello. Listen, I had to bring my juice. I made a juice for myself. I juiced this from, I'm trying to get into juice and trying to be a little more healthy. I juiced this with a juicer that I have. This is 100% fruit juice. It's, what is it? It's pineapples, oranges, carrot juice, pear juice, and what else I put in there? I put pineapples, Pineapples. Yes, you should. Go ahead and reach out to me, Lene. Pineapples, carrots, pears, oranges, ginger. Oh, it's so good. You know, I started juicing every now and then, trying to transition and eat more, you know, try to do things that are healthier, you know. But, you know, I used to feel so guilty because I didn't do certain things. And, you know, it wasn't my children's fault, as I was saying. It was my own issues I had to deal with. It was trying to overcompensate as a mom and make sure, you know, I'm there because my parents were not there for me, right? Making sure that, you know, I was always there, always doing and giving. And sometimes when we always do and give, right, we mess these children up because they grow up with this sense of entitlement, right? They grow up with this sense of entitlement and they feel like we always got to do things for them. And that's not always true. We have to give our children time to do things for themselves. Let them learn to live without things. It's going to be okay, right? It's not that you abuse them or anything, but let them learn to live without things. That's how they're able to manage through life, you know, if they don't have certain things. It's okay, right? It is okay. It is okay that they don't have certain things, right? It is okay. So, but self-care is just taking care of yourself, making sure that you're resting, right? All this week, I was going from one job to another job, doing one thing to another, all trying to, you know, prepare and, you know, get my business built up, you know? And I said, Saturday, I'm going to rest. I'm going to take time out to rest. I'm going to just take a nap, sleep, and take that day for me, right? Take that day to do, you know, what it is that I need to do, right? Instead of just focusing on trying to go, go, go. No, self-care is taking time out for yourself. You know, I brought me some little snacks out here, and I was going to come out here and create some content and just write in my journals. I have my journal that's propped up here. This is my affirmation journal, right? This is my affirmation. I created this, by the way, my I Am Wealthy journal. And what I do, I just come here. I come here and I remind myself, right? I just give thanks. Look, I give thanks. I talk about how I'm debt free and I put dates and, you know, this is self-care to me. Self-care is speaking my life into existence. You know, self-care is reminding myself of who I am. Because for so long, you know, I didn't know who I was. For so long, I allowed people to tell me who I am. I allowed people to project to me who I am. But once I started focusing on me, once I started learning what self-care, the sun is shining directly in my eyes. I thought it was going away. It came back from around the clouds. But once I started reflecting, once I started paying attention to my mindset and how I respond to different things and how I respond to different people, I started to learn how important self-care was, right? Self-care is important. We need it. That's why so many of you, right, including me, us, that's why we were so depressed. That's why we were so unhappy, because we never learned self-care. And half of us, especially if you grew up in a black household, if you grew up in a family with a mother that looks like me, the only thing they knew how to do was serve. The only thing they knew how to do was give. They never took time out for themselves. And that's not healthy. They never took time out for themselves. They never took time out away from their children because they were taught that that's what they had to do. As a mother, we become sacrificial lambs to our children. And I'm not saying that that's not what you're supposed to do, because you're supposed to invest in your children. But there's a time you're supposed to take time out for yourself. You're supposed to take time out to spend time with God in the morning, even if you have to get up. And I know it's hard, especially if you're single. You didn't choose to be single. You didn't choose to be a single mom, right? You didn't have the child by yourself, and I understand. But you have to find that time, even if you have to get up early in the morning and find that time, and find that time to take that time out for yourself. That's what I do sometimes. Sometimes I get up 5 in the morning just to get that 30 minutes in with my Heavenly Father, an hour. Sometimes it depends. We have to take that time out for ourselves. We have to take time out, right? And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's okay to go, and I'm so glad when my children was little, I didn't have time for myself. I didn't have time for focusing on me because everything was so dedicated to them. And that was only for a season. For you all who have little children, enjoy that time. enjoy being in the moment, because they are going to grow up and they are going to get their own identities and have their own beliefs and ideals, and they're going to be their own person, right? So there was a season where I didn't take no time out for myself. There was a season that I did not buy myself a shirt because I was sacrificing for my children so they can have lunch money, right? So they can have their field trip money. I sacrificed during the season. Now that they are older, now that I got a 22-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 17-year-old, and an 11-year-old, and they're older, oh, now it's more time to focus on me. It's more time to still be there for them because they still need me, especially that 11-year-old. I don't know how you guys are women, you're raising young men in this world. Lord knows, he keeps me on my knees. He keeps me in prayer. Keeps me in prayer. But now that they're older, I'm taking more time out for me. I'm taking more time out for self-care, getting my mental, making sure I'm keeping my mental health in check, keeping my happiness in check, right? I'm taking more time out for that. That's the season I'm in now. Being there for my children, you know, checking in on them, you know, making sure they're okay, you know, checking in on them every Thursday and Saturday, making sure they're okay mentally. You know, we do self-care days. I'll check in and see if they want to talk to me about something or see where they are, you know. But we have to take time. Take time out for yourself. Take time out to look at the airplane. It looks like it went in my hair, right? It's coming out of my hair on that side. That is too funny. That is too funny. But yes, take time out for yourself. We have to care for ourselves, but we feel guilty, especially what I was saying was like for us, you know, black moms, we feel guilty. Some of us, not all. Some of them don't even care, but for the ones who want to do right, who are trying to have a balanced life, you feel guilty for taking any time out for yourself. You feel guilty. And I understand, I've been there. Used to feel guilty. I didn't want to do anything for myself. Felt guilty for, you know, for just doing simple things. Right? I felt guilty for that. But I had to stop that foolishness. And realize if I'm not mentally sound, my children are not going to be mentally sound. Right? So take that time out for yourself and don't feel guilty. I slept all day. Look, I slept all day. And guess what? I got up. I felt like coming to the park. So I came to the park. And to do nothing. To do absolutely nothing. Because this season, I need to be present for me. Right? This season, I need to be there for me. For so many years, you know, I was there for everyone else and so concerned about what everyone else was doing and what they had going on, running here, running there, being there for people. And this season, I can't do that. The Lord told me this season, you need to be focused on you. And that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on me and my mental health. I'm focusing on getting through what it is that I need to get through. I need to be present for me. I need to coach me. Of course, coaching you all too. This is part of my self-care. This channel was part of my self-care, right? Building this channel, because sometimes we can have so much in us and we just hold it to ourselves when we should be giving that to someone else. We should be sharing it with someone else. And that's what I'm doing in this season. I'm sharing my wisdom, right? I'm sharing my wisdom. Yes, I'm sharing my wisdom. So that's what I'm doing, right? I'm sharing my wisdom. I'm being present. And I'm coming on here using my voice to encourage you all, to help someone that may be going through the same thing. You won't believe how many messages I've received from people who say, you know what, your messages resonate with me. And it's just my own experience, my own stuff I done been through. Look, it's my own stuff. Y'all get my own baggage and stuff that I've gone through and overcome. I've overcome that. So I'm in a place now where I can give now. I'm full. I can give. I can give, right? And that's why I started coaching. Yep. Yes, it is wear and tear, Quest. It's wear and tear in your mental. Because we never take time out. Listen, I love taking time out for myself now. When I tell you I come journal, I got this journal, my I Am Wealthy journal, and I got another journal that's inside of my bag that is propped up. I can't take it out. 'Cause, oh, let me see. I got another journal. Oh, look, I got this journal. This is where I write my ideas from. And I created these journals, by the way. I'm so creative. I'm just tapping into everything that God has given me. And I created these. These are on Amazon if you would like to buy one, right? I have this journal, and they represent different things. They represent different things. This journal, this has more of my business ideas, my classes that God has given me. Like, you know, my classes, my master classes that I'm going to teach. Like when I get up in the morning, I get so many ideas. You guys should try this. Get up early in the morning. Get up early in the morning and spend that time with God. You get so many ideas in the morning. Listen, I got a whole master class that I taught on last month on the 25th, and you can purchase it too. It's on my is it in my bio? I think it's in my bio. I don't know. But I was given an entire master class, download it, and I put it in here. And I was able to take that and put it into a course to be able to help someone who needs it. But a lot of the stuff, you don't have to go to the courses because I teach it here free on the master class. That is just something that the course is just if you want to get more intimate, you know, with me, right? I share more of my personal story in the courses too, you know? Excuse me, my allergies are a little on 10. Let me see my other journal. I bought this journal here. Oh, this is my I Have Purpose journal. It's the matte. Yep, it's a matte, but it's all fingerprinted up. So you'll see all my little fingerprints on there, but that's okay because it's being used. Let me move over. It's being used, but I created this one. And look, I have purpose. I created this. And then I have this here, Jeremiah 29:11. That's just to remind me, right? I have this one, right? I have this. But I'm always writing. This book here, my I Have Purpose, I write my dreams down in here. I'm a dreamer. So when I remember my dreams, I write them down in here. Be a good steward over your dreams. You should be a good steward. If you are a dreamer, make sure that you're being a good steward over your dreams. Right? Be a good steward. And I try to write them down. Because God speaks to you in your dreams. Whether you want to believe it or not, that God speaks to you in your dreams. So if God speaks to you, you know who else is speaking to you? Act like you know now. So write these things down. Write these things down. Get in the habit of writing them down. Get in the habit of being a good steward over what God is entrusting you with. Right? Yep, be a good steward. Yep, so I have all these journals. So you know I came to the park prepared. And I even have more home. I have more at home. Yes, so I'm watching my son. He's out here playing. This boy, he could play with. He's like his mom. Let me just say that. He's like me. I can find anyone to talk to, mingle and blend in with anyone. But be a good steward of your dreams. But take time for self-care. Self-care, this is part of my self-care. Journaling. It's part of self-care for me. I need this. Some of you all need to start journaling. It's so healing, right? You can release so many things in your journals. It is so healing. It's a healing process. It's helpful. I don't know what else to say. Yes, he gets along with everyone. Me too, girl. Listen, you know, I used to didn't like that about myself because I had someone to try to make me feel as if that was a problem. You know, like people will try to make you feel insecure because of who you are. And at one time in my life, I wanted to suppress that about myself. But God showed me, he wired me that way because of the people I'm going to reach in the future. The reason I'm on this YouTube is because of my personality. The reason I can talk to white, black, Indian, Chinese, I don't speak their language, but the reason I could communicate and feel like I'm a part of the family because that's how God wired me. I was born that way. This wasn't something that just happened overnight. I was born this way. And so I had to continue to be myself because people try to come and abuse you out of being yourself. They'll try to come and snatch you out of who God made you to be through abuse and through, taking you through all these different, mindsets and different mental abuse mechanisms and all kind of foolishness. But anyways, God made me that way. And I embrace it to the 110th power now, because I understand what he showed me that is going to happen to me in the future and why he made me that way. I had to embrace that. It was scary at first because I didn't want to accept that vision, but I had to deal with it. I had to accept it, because if I didn't accept it, he was going to beat me down. He was going to beat me down. And that's why I came online. I got tired of being beat down. I got tired of that. I got tired of running from the call. Okay. Excuse me. My allergies, sinuses, nasally. But I got tired of running from the call. So I finally answered the call. Yes, I finally answered the call. She is so adorable. She is so cute. A little cute little baby. But I finally answered the call, and I know why. I know why he made me like that. I know why he made my son like that. I got to keep him covered too. I got to keep him in prayer and covered. Got to keep him. But one thing about people, they'll try to stop you from being who God made you to be. They'll try to stop you because you're wired a certain way. You're wired a certain way. That's why I don't believe that prophets are made. That's why I don't believe a prophet can be ordained. You can't ordain a prophet, right? I'm just getting on here just to say this little nugget. We'll get back to self-care. That's why I don't believe you can ordain a prophet. I believe prophets are born. That's something God has given people from birth, right? Although they may go through their challenges, but you have to be born. God has to choose you to be that way. That's my belief. I don't care what people say. But who people talking about people ordained prophets and this, that, and the other. No, you got to be born. You will know if you were born that way because it's in you. It's in you from birth. Nobody didn't tell Jesus he was Jesus. He was born that way. He was born the son, right? He came to earth that way. Right? So what I want to say about that is you can't, those gifts come from God. Yes, it's already in you. It's already in you. And the reason you're going to know it's already in you because people are going to attack. People are going to attack where God is trying to, where he wants to take you. People are going to attack you. That's just like Joseph's brothers. People attacked his brother. His siblings attacked him because he was a dreamer. He was a chosen, right? They saw that at birth. He was like that from birth. He was chosen at birth. He was a dreamer from birth. Yeah, he was a dreamer. It feels good out here. But self-care is just taking that time out for you. Taking that time out for you. It's okay. Take that time out. Spend time with God. Whatever books you're reading, read them. Take 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Take time out to not just get your hair and nails done. Take time out to deal with your mental. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you, feel good. If that means getting your hair done, that's fine. But work on your mental, your internal. What makes you happy? What makes you happy? Yes, he surely did. He surely did. He surely did. He knew us from the beginning. So and you know what? The more time I spend with God now, the more I start understanding his word, right? And it's not that I'm some scholar. I'm not no scholar. I'm not a Bible scholar. I didn't go to theological school. I don't know any of the theological ways, right? As far as the biblical part. But what I do know is my own experience. And when I started spending time with God, I started understanding more of like the spiritual piece. Like when he said he knew you in your mother's womb and all that. Because, when you're just looking at it from the natural, I'm trying to get my little curls down. When you're looking at it from the natural, you're trying to understand, how did he know me in my mother's womb? What did he mean? What does he mean he knows me? Right? Right? Like how I was taught coming up. Although I was taught a certain way, the way I was taught had me thinking a certain way too, right? It's like, it was almost like cartoonish, the way, we were taught coming up. It's almost like it was like a cartoon, like a fairy tale. But once, like he said, once you get that relationship with him, it would be scary because he'll start showing you that spiritual aspect. We're more spiritual beings than anything, right? Like now when I hear he knew you before you were in your mother's womb. He knew me spiritually before I even traveled through her womb. However I got here, that's how I got here. But he knew me way before then. He knew me when I was just a spirit being before he sent me here naturally. That's something deep. When I saw that, I'm like, that's some scary stuff. Look, when I got that, I'm like, that's some scary stuff. But I understand now, and it's not as scary once you get that relationship. Because he knew us. That's why we can feel like, you ever felt like, they call it deja vu? Ain't no deja vu. That's not deja vu. That's your God experience. That's not deja vu. You ever experienced like you've been to somewhere before? It's like you did something. Like you were watching TV. It's like I felt like I did this before because you did. That's why you feel that way. You did. You did do that spiritually. You've been to where you are, that place that you are, and you felt like you've been there. You've been there in the spirit first. You did. You've been there already spiritually. That's why God said he know the plans I have for you. He already planned out your life. Wherever you need to be, what you need to go through, that's what you're going to go through. That's what you're going to go through. Right? You having that baby as a teenager, it wasn't the end of the world. Some of y'all was teen moms. Jesus was a teen, born to a teen mom. We don't talk about that. Jesus came into this life through a teen mom. When that lady was 15. If they married, they said it was a teen, 15. So it don't matter how you get here. It doesn't matter how you get here. It's that purpose he's going to fulfill in your life. Right? It's that purpose. My kids saved my life. To be honest, my children saved me. Although I still experience a lot of stuff, but my kids saved me. And that was God's doing. He knew that giving me children will slow me down. It'll redirect my focus. And it did. It redirected my focus. Yes. Mrs. Messenger. Yes. All that was for a reason. You can't be afraid of what you've been through. Right? You can't be afraid of what you've been through. You can't be afraid of, because you've experienced life. We all experience life. We got to stop being ashamed of that. We got to stop being ashamed and wanting our lives to be perfect. I know I'm not. One thing God did for me when I was younger, he took me through shame. He took me through that look at the plane flying through my hair again. They're going to get lost in this little baby fro. You see the plane? Going to get lost in the baby fro. Look at it back there. Jesus. But one thing God took me through with my own mom, he took me through that process of shame. So when I got to this point in life, I wouldn't be ashamed about what I went through. I went through that process of shame. I went through as a young girl watching my mom dance in the streets and act a fool, in the streets. I was so young. People used to pick at me about my mom. She used to be, oh Lord, we laugh about it now, me and my siblings. And it wasn't funny then, but now it's funny because, we've overcome it. But that lady used to embarrass us so much. I remember one time we was in church. She was drunk. She was drunk. What we call pissing drunk. Excuse my French. But I'm just being honest. She was what we call pissing drunk. And that lady bust up in the church. At least you know where to come, though. She bust up in the church drunk and just went to saying, ow! Just went to dancing, girl. Oh, my God. Yes, baby. Oh. Phone? Why?
Taking a picture of the sunset.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she walked into that thing and she was drunk. And oh my goodness, it was so funny. It was so funny. We all ducked down in the seats in the church, in the pews, so we wouldn't be shamed, but we went through all that. I went through that shame as a teen. Yes, she was. And she came through that thing, bust up in there. She was like, ow, just went to... But she was drunk. She was so drunk. She was drunk. She really was. But I went through all of that. I went through all of that shame. So I don't think nothing embarrassed me now. People try to... No, I don't think nothing embarrassed me. I'm just being honest. I'm going to be honest with you all. Like the old folks used to say back in the days, you got to tell the truth, shame the devil. Yes, I got to shame the devil. Yes, that lady used to do some stuff. Boy, we used to be so embarrassed. But you know, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So I had to deal with that. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, I got plenty. Now a lot of the stuff now wasn't funny, Lene. Now that was funny, and we do have some fun memories because she used to act a plum nut. I'm gonna be honest, especially when she got drunk. It was just a different type of person. It was a different type of person, girl. Like, it was like, you know, that's why people sometimes with people who know my mom, and then they look at me, right, and they almost can't believe that my mom produced, you know, someone like me or had a child like me because their judgment, right? But
The sun's beautiful.
huh?
The sun's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yep. Because of what my mom been through. Cause you know people judge you based on your parents. They will. They'll judge you. They'll judge you based on your parents. Judge you based on where you came from. Judge you based on Judge you based on what you've been through.
Mom, I'm saying they judge you based on your friends.
Oh yes. Oh, my son trying to tell me. But yeah, they'll judge you based on that. They'll count you out, you know, because you know my mom was on drugs, and I can honestly say I'd never touched a drug in my life, ever. Never desired to, never wanted to, because I know God was doing something in me, right? I know He was changing the dynamics, you know, of my family, my bloodline, and He was going to use me to do it. That's why I caught so much hell. That's why I went through so much. But my mom was fighting some demons. Yeah, she was fighting some demons. She was fighting her own battles. And you know, unfortunately, to be honest, a lot of us are reaping. We're reaping the curses of our loved ones. We're reaping the curses of what our parents did, our ancestors. We're reaping those curses. We're reaping them. And that's why you have to repent. That's why you have to repent. That's why you have to ask God to forgive you and repent for the sins of your ancestors, because we're going to reap that. No, I never touched a drug, dear. I sure did. Never touched a drug. And never in life. I never wanted to, because I saw how when my mom was on drugs and my dad, I saw how it made them. They turned to different people. They turned to totally different people. Yeah. They were good people, you know, came from decent background, but you know, when it comes to those curses, that's why we have to break that stuff. Yes, we're reaping. Oh yeah, we're reaping that. And that's why I fight so hard to try to stop my children from reaping the curses that my mom did and that I did because of my mom, right? You know, once I came into this spiritual understanding and knowledge of God, I said, you know, we got to stop this foolishness. Somebody got to stop it. Somebody got to stop it. And this part of self-care too, acknowledging that your family is some of the reason you're dealing with stuff. That's why you can have family members. You got your aunt that does the same thing. You got your mom's sisters that do the same thing. It's like a pattern. Whenever you see that pattern in the family, right? Whenever you see that pattern, that is a generational thing. You got to break that. You got to break that off your bloodline. Whenever you see that pattern, that means it's a generational thing. Everybody in your family this way. Everybody got high blood pressure. That just runs in the bloodline. No, and that's not something that should be running in the bloodline. You shouldn't accept that. You got to change the way you eat. You got to change the way you live, right? Some things you can change. Some things you can change. And I believe high blood pressure is one of them, because you can stop eating that pig. You can stop eating that bacon, right? You can stop eating that bacon, that pig, that pork chop, them fried pork chop sandwiches. Stop eating that foolishness. I know we love it. We got to stop it. That's perpetuating the curse. It's the eating habits that's perpetuating the curse, right? It's the eating habit, right? Like in my family, my bloodline, I'm going to be transparent right here. Drug addicts run all through, up and down the bloodline. I'm going to be honest. All up and down the bloodline. Drug addicts. That's a curse. I promised myself I was never touching a drug. I don't care. I barely want to take prescribed medication. When I had my babies, I'm like, no, I'm going to take this pill for what? I'm going to take this for when I need it. not because it's for pain. I want to take it when I need it, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, you got to break that curse. Declare. You got to declare that I'm not going to do and see, that's another thing. When you're dealing with a curse, and the moment you decide to break that, because that's a curse, and it's not your family. You got to understand, whenever you're the curse breaker, you're going to be alone. You're going to be the black sheep. You're going to be talked about. You're going to be laughed at. You're going to be criticized. That's part of it. People don't tell you this. And you just think you're crazy. You think you got the problem. No, you don't have the problem. You just the curse breaker. Oh, yeah, you got the problem. You're going to solve the problem. That's what you're going to do. You the problem solver. That's your problem. Mm-hmm. So, and what happened when you the curse breaker, what happened is everybody else in the family, they'll mingle and congregate, right? They'll mingle and congregate, and you'll be the issue. You'll be the issue, right? You will be the issue, right? You'll be the problem. But you sitting over there trying to break the curses off the family. You'll be the problem, right? You'll be the one. You'll be the issue. And you ain't do nothing. You just trying to live right. You just trying to break the curse. Yep, you're just trying to break the curse. You're just trying to do something different. You're trying to change the trajectory of the family line. You're just trying to bring wealth into the family. You're just trying to do what it has not been done. That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to do what has not been done in the family. But because you want to break away from the little family cult, girl, because you want to break away from the family cult, you tired of eating them fried pork chops and rib sandwiches. I'm gonna stop. I ain't gonna start acting fool. You don't want to eat that. You don't want to eat the fried pork chop and rib sandwiches no more. Girl, listen. You don't want to eat them little fried pork chop sandwiches. You want to try to take your blood pressure down. Now you the problem. You don't want to die from no heart attack. Now you the problem. You got to break free. You got to be okay. Be okay with being alone. Be okay with being by yourself. Yeah, they're going to think you crazy because you don't gave up them ribs, girl. You don't gave up them, you don't gave up them rib sandwiches, them pork chop sandwiches, You don't gave up that paint of butter that you put in them vegetables. Listen, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I still eat. I don't eat my pork like I still eat bacon every now and then. Every now and then now. But that's not part of my diet. It's not something I do all the time. For real, And then what God said, He's going to use that too. Because, I got the little funny side of me. He was going to use that. He used that to get people comfortable, draw people in, But the truth needs to be told, right? He said He was going to use that. He was going to use that too. I should have put some little moisturizer on my little hair right here. But that's okay. It's my little natural edges. As long as I got some. Look, as long as I got some. Shoot, I got to keep these little edges. But yeah, He's going to use that funny part. But it's the truth though. Yeah, they'll get mad at Oh yes, you do. You do. You learn to love yourself. I love spending time. Before, because I grew up in a big family. I grew up around a lot of people. There was one time in my house, we had 15 people in our house. I lived in the trailer with my grandmother. Shoot, that was one time we had almost 15 people. We were deep off in that thing. We were deep. Listen, we were deep off in there. So I grew up with a lot of cousins and, I grew up with a lot of people in the house. So I had to learn to be by myself. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn to be by myself, learn to be okay with being by myself because I grew up with so many people and I always had people around. So I used to be like that. I used to be like, the one who, I used to be the one who, I'm watching the children, I'm still at the park. I used to be the one who I always had to be around some people, and everywhere we went, we never was without somebody at the house. I always had people at the house. But then I learned to love myself and be by myself, and I'm okay. I love being by myself. I love spending time alone. That's something I didn't enjoy at one time, because I always had my kids with me. I always had somebody with me, a friend, somebody. But now I go anywhere. Oh, I love going. When I pop up to places, I pop up solo, and you think I own the place. I walk up in there like I got an entourage, and they be looking at me like, who is this person? They be looking at me like, who she thinks she is? Oh, I'm somebody. That's who I am, somebody. I walk up anywhere. I don't care what type of event. I walk up in that thing like, not with the arrogance, because that's just not who I am, but I walk up in there confident by myself. And eventually, guess what? I found people to go with. I remember one time I went to this comedy show by myself. This was years ago. This one friend, she was supposed to go with me, and she ended up changing her mind last minute. And I was so mad. I'm like, why people do this? Like, people used to do that all the time. Plan things with me and then, then renege. Say they don't want to go. But I was going to see D.L. Hughley. That's who I was going to see. And child, when I tell you, I walked up in that thing, and I walked in there by myself and enjoyed myself. And I sat by this couple. This was this, white couple. And I sat by them, and they fed me. If I was drinking, they would have been giving me drinks, but I didn't drink. So they fed me. And they were like, do you want something else? Do you want something else? Do you want something, else? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. They was just buying me stuff. And I'm like, I'm glad I went. I said, I'm so glad I went. I'm so glad I went by myself. Like, it was just like this peace, like just feeling content with who I am and just being okay with being by myself. And that's when all that started. That was the first time I ever went somewhere and made a decision that I was going to go regardless by myself if my friend came or not. And I'm glad I did, because I met some good people. I didn't stay in touch with them or anything, but they fed me, and, we laughed at D.L. Hughley, and, that was that. And that's when I started saying, I'm going to start going places by myself, because what happened is you can plan things with people, and they renege on you, and you don't end up going. So you miss out on the experience. And I stopped that. I stopped missing out on my experiences. I surely did. I stopped missing out on my experiences. I started going by myself, and I'm okay, and I'm content with going by myself. I look forward to traveling. I don't think I would travel out of the country too much by myself. It'd have to be with a group or something. But especially now, but I won't be afraid to go. You know what I'm saying? I won't be afraid to go. Oh yeah, I pop up anywhere by myself. One time I popped up in this establishment, and it was nothing but white folks there. Some people do get uncomfortable being around white folks. Me, I don't, because God made me that way. He made me to be who I am, like I told y'all earlier. So I pop up in there like I own the place, and everybody was looking at me. I stood out because I'm chocolate, and I'm chocolate, so I stood out. So I went in there, and after they got, I guess, comfortable, relax a little bit, because they were just looking. And after they got relaxed, everybody just started talking and having conversations, and things were good. I'm not going to not go and experience places out of being fearful and out of being insecure. If it's something I want to do, I'm going to do it. If it's something I want to do and I feel like I need to go, I'm going to do it. Like last weekend, the weekend before last, I went to this art festival. After I left church, I went to this art festival. It was in my area, not in my city where I live, but few cities over. I went to the art festival. It was so nice. It was a street art festival, and I went to that by myself. It was nice. I had me some crab cakes, and I had me two Italian ices. And what else did I eat? I ate so much. The food was expensive, but I didn't care. I enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed myself. I did. I enjoyed the art. I saw an old classmate of mine there. Yep, I saw an old classmate, and I talked to him there. And what else? Let me tell you how Favor is. Let me tell you what Favor is. At the art festival, they have the streets where the people are painting. They have it taped off. And I wasn't asking to go inside or anything. I was just looking at the art. So this is favor. Favor follows me everywhere I go. I look at favor as things as simple as this. So I walked up to, take a picture of the art because it was one of the nicest, street art paintings there. And so I just walked up looking, taking the picture, and the guy just opened the thing. He said, "You want to come in?" Out of all those people around me, he just looked at me and asked me that I want to come in and take a picture. So he let me in. The little barricades, and I took a picture, and he handed me the chalk, and as if I was writing it, had me over there being fake and stuff, knowing I didn't do that, but it was just the point of taking the picture. So I took the picture, and it was nice. I'm like, that's favor. I said, you know what? That's what I call favor. Out of all those people, why choose me? I didn't say anything. I was pleasant, I didn't ask. But he just felt he needed to ask me. And I said, of course. But, yeah, we got to take care of ourselves. That's self-care. I enjoy being by myself. I mean, to be honest, I enjoy it a little too much. I have to remember that I have kids. I have to remember that I have children. I have to remember that I have children because I enjoy it a little too much. Yes, I've been enjoying it a little too much. It's almost like that's all I want to do is be by myself. And I know I can't do that because I have children. I have to make sure I'm attentive to them and make sure they're okay, So, but yeah, I enjoy being by myself. And we have to get to that place. If you don't like being with you, why do you think somebody else going to like being with you? So this is for all the singles out there. If you waiting for your Boaz and you're waiting for your husband, learn to spend time by yourself first. So you won't make, that man pay a price for you're not feeling fulfilled being alone, right? So take care of you first. Make sure you can spend time by yourself. And you want him to do the same for him. You want him to be able to do the same for him. Take care of himself, right? Be okay with going places and being okay with spending time, take care of his mental health. You guys don't have to always be together. You need to take that time alone sometimes, right? So learn how to be okay being by yourself. I know I am. I know I am. This was really some good juice. Exactly, Quest. Yes. I enjoy it, boy. I never found so much peace. Like I can't tell you. I have to do another live to tell you pre-discovering me, pre-healing. I always had to be with somebody. I used to get mad when people didn't go. When I say, "Oh, let's go do this, let's go do that," and they get like they got an attitude, they don't want to go. I used to get so upset about that. Right? I used to get so upset about people not wanting to go with me. And then if they don't want to go, guess what I did? I didn't go. But now, I pop up in that thing solo. Like I pop up in that thing like I got an entourage. It be me and the Holy Spirit, okay? Listen, I pop up in that thing for sure. Like, listen, like it's me and a whole bunch of people. Who you here with? Me, myself, and I. Who you here with? God, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Listen, who you here with? The Trinity. Yeah, like it's funny. I'm just joking, but yes. But yeah. Now who are you popping up in here with? Yes. But yes, honey, you gotta learn how to be by yourself, and it's okay. And it's okay. And it's okay. Be by yourself. Yeah, it is okay. Yeah, it is okay to enjoy being by yourself. Yes, I love being by myself. I love it. I love it. I'm ready to take me a road trip to see one of my cousins. I have a cousin in Georgia, but I think I'm gonna take the kids with me. But I have a cousin in Georgia and I want to go visit. I was going to go by myself, but I think I'm gonna take the girls with me. But I love it. I've always been adventurous. I've always been to myself, like in my own head, as far as creativity, exploring different things. I'll veer off in a minute. I'll be in one city and just veer off, lollygagging, going somewhere else. They don't have any business. But I'll be paying attention to my surroundings, right? Because I grew up in an area where I had to be alert. So I be paying attention to my surroundings. I have to pay attention to my surroundings. But I love just traveling. Like this park here, I'll sit out here and take a nap. I will sit out here and take a nap. Like, and watch people. I love people watching. Anyone like people watching? I don't want to sound like a weirdo on here. I don't want to sound like a weirdo. Lene, girl, that's the best thing I've ever done for myself. I've ever did for myself is just, I take myself, I go get ices. I be going to Rita's, getting a little Italian ices. Sometimes I just sit in my car and just eat my icy. I get the, what is they call? It's not an icy, it's a gelati. I go get a gelati. I go to Rita's every so often, to treat myself. Last month, I went and took myself out to First Watch for breakfast. I went to First Watch and I had me some toast, some eggs. And I told you I told you every now and then I eat bacon. So listen. First, I enjoyed myself, and I ate outside on the water. It was like a little place where a little pond, a little lake was out there, and it was so nice. I enjoyed myself. And I had my journal. I had one of the journals in my car. I had that journal, and I took that journal out, and I wrote a few things in there, and I enjoyed myself. And another thing I do, I keep me a book on me. I don't care where I go, I will keep me a book. Some book that I'm reading, I will keep a book on me. I love reading. Personal development books. I love reading. And it's so freeing. Like, it brings so much joy to me. Like, I started doing things more of what I love. For so long, I was in a situation where I catered to other people. I served other people, all while neglecting myself. It's a difference between serving other people and doing things for yourself. No, I served and I left myself out. Right? I left myself out. Oh, hello, Shantae, Monique. What do you journal about in the moment? What I journal about is what's on my heart. Whatever is on my mind, how I'm feeling, a thought that, but in the mornings, like when I get up, like when I'm spending time in my devotion, I journal. It depends. Like when I get up and if I dreamed about something, I journal in this book. I'll jot down my dreams. I'll jot down everything that I can remember. I put it in here. Then after I get through journaling, I go and I read whatever scripture that I'm reading, whatever, story in the Bible that I'm reading, I would read that, right? And then I would wait a little bit and see if I hear anything from God. Bye-bye, dear. Bye-bye. If I hear anything, I would, if I hear something, I would write it down, right? In my journal as well. I'll go back and write it down, like a revelation that God gave me or anything, right? I'll write it down. Then after that, this is my intentional, my I Am Wealthy journal. I'll write down my I Am affirmations, like I am wealthy. I'll write it down at least however many lines is on here. I'll write it down here, like here, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. I write that down however many times I need to get to the bottom. And that's at different times. But like if I'm out like here at the park and if I get some type of revelation or if some thought come to my mind or if some feeling come up, I'll write that down. And whatever I can get it written in, I'll write it down so I won't lose my thought, my train of thought, or lose that, that memory. Yep. So that's okay. No, that's okay. You got to ask your questions. That's why I'm here. And please feel free whenever I come live, right? Whenever I come live, feel free to ask your questions. That's when I'm able at that moment to answer them, right? If you need to know anything, if I'm live, ask your question then. I'll answer it. If I see it, I'll answer it. Yep. I'll answer it for you right here live. Right? So don't ask anything that you don't want the answer to. Don't ask anything personal. But if you ask it right here, I'll answer it for you. My son is over there playing volleyball. This boy, he think he's just so grown. 11 years old and think he's just 25. He's going to be upset when it's time to go. You need to, Sheila, write your dreams down, honey. Be a good steward over your dreams. God communicates to us in our dreams. No, we can't always interpret the meaning, but if we ask him, he'll give us revelation. He'll give us revelation. He'll give us understanding of what we're dreaming about, what we're seeing. He'll give it to us. Yes, we have to be a good steward. Look at all the people in the Bible. Every time they went to sleep, they had a dream. He talked to them in dreams. So it's still the same way nowadays. He will talk to us in dreams, because that's the only time we're settled and we're still, when we sleep. He can't even talk to us. We're so busy. He can't talk to us while we're up because we're busy. We're too busy serving and doing this, going to work, traveling on the road, trying to get here, making sure the kid's okay. But when it's time to rest, he'll bring you things in your dreams. I know for me, God has revealed so many things to me in my dreams. That's why I wake up, I try to put that journal by my bed. Sometimes I don't remember everything. And but I try to keep that journal by my bed, so when I get up, I jot down what I know, what I can remember, because them dreams, they leave you just like that. I don't know about awkward dreams. Means you're under attack. I don't know about awkward. It depends on what you mean by awkward. But I know whenever you're dreaming about like animals, I know for a fact when you're dreaming about animals and rabbits and lizards and snakes and alligators and all that, them dreams are demonic. I know that for a fact. I do know that. I can say that part, right? Sexual dreams, that's demonic. You shouldn't be having you shouldn't be having sexual dreams. What they call wet dreams. Yeah. I don't know about babies and small children. It depends on, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I interpret dreams either. But I know for a fact, animals and dreams, certain animals, right? Like the ones that I named, snakes, alligators, rabbits, lizards, birds. Yeah, them things there. They be cats, dogs barking at you and, biting you and all that. Them demonic. You have to get up and cancel them dreams out, repent and cancel those dreams, we know snakes. Yeah. I know houses. I do know houses. It depends on if it's like new construction, right? New construction houses. I know that means, no, I ain't gonna say that because I don't know that one. I know it has a meaning. I'll say that. New homes means something, good. New construction homes, yes. But that's really all I know. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know, but I know them demonic ones. I know them. I know how to cancel them out. I know those. Yeah, do some research. Let me see. I'm trying to see who I was learning from about dreams interpret. I'm trying to see who I can refer you to who know a lot. That's somebody legit, so you won't be out here dibbling and dabbling and other stuff. Email me at responsibility@gmail.com, and I'll see if I can find the names of some of the ministers I know for sure. I'm trying to think who break down those dreams, right? Who break down those dreams and can tell you the interpretation, because I know for a fact them animals, them attacks, something biting you and all that, them demonic there. I know for a fact those are. Yeah. Dreaming about you in water, water dreams. If you're in water, swimming all the time, dreaming about you flying, those are not good dreams. You got to get up and cancel those dreams. No, email me. Email me is the best way to get in contact with me. Yeah, email me is the best way, because I don't too much answer all the other stuff. I have so many different platforms, and, with the responsibility, it's kind of hard to keep up. But if you email me, I usually get back with you, because I don't be on all the platforms. Like, I'm live here. Like, when I be posting on YouTube, a lot of that stuff be pre-scheduled. It already be scheduled out, so I won't be spending so much time on social media. It be scheduled out. Like all my postings and stuff, I schedule that stuff out like for a month. Like those posts that I post on my community tab, like at 12, some of those post out. I post those out. I schedule those every for like up to a month. Sometimes I come in and post something, right away. But other than that, 12 p.m. every day, that stuff is scheduled out because I don't want to spend so much time, on social media because we could get caught up. I'm gonna be honest. I was on TikTok this morning. I was supposed to have been editing some videos to post and schedule out. I got stuck on TikTok with this foolishness, laughing all morning about what's going on with TikTok. Yes, I have sessions. Lene. Yes, my calendar is in my about page. I thought I emailed you. Did I email you? I thought I emailed you. But if you go to my about page, even if you go to the community tab, like on some of the posts, I posted my calendar, my coaching calendar there. I do. Yep, there's some spots available. But yeah, let me go get this boy. I know he's not going to be ready to go. This is really a nice park. I haven't been out here at night in a while. It's night. It looks like it's daytime, but it's dark back there. The lights out here got it lit up, but it's actually nighttime here where I'm at. It's a little chilly too. I should have brought my sweater. I'm a little cool. Yep. My little snack bag that I'm getting ready to go. But yes, got to take care of ourselves. Be okay with going places by yourself. Be okay. I love going places by myself. I love it. I enjoy it. Go to restaurants. One of my goals let me tell you about what I did. I wrote down like the things I wanted to do when I reached a certain milestone on my YouTube channel. And I didn't know God was going to elevate me and move me so quick. I didn't have time to keep up. So one of the goals that I want, I went from 100 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers, right? And I set goals for reaching each one of those milestones. And one of my goals were to go to a nice upscale restaurant, like a steakhouse by myself. That was the goal I planned when I reached, I think I said I was going to do that when I reached 800 subscribers. Don't you know that within 1 month, I had reached all of the goals? I couldn't even keep up and do the things, right? Exactly. I love my sweaters in the car, though. I have it with me everywhere I go. I do have a little sheet, but I don't want to look all ghetto, out here. I got a sheet out here, but I don't want to look all ghetto. Like, why they laid out here with a sheet on? Because I came out here to have a little picnic, put my little sheet on the ground and, write in my journal. But I spent the live with you all. But it's still nice out here. But anyways, one of my goals were to take myself to a nice upscale restaurant. I was going to dress up elegant, put on my makeup. Girl, I was going to be walking in that thing like I'm rich, because I am, right? I am. And I was going to put on my little outfit and walk in there like I'm rich, girl. And I can't wait to do it. It's going to be downtown in the area where I live. They got like this downtown area. And I'm going to dress up. I got this shirt. It's like a little asymmetrical green outfit. It's like sequin. Somebody blessed me with it. And that's favor. Let me tell you what happened with that. Look, I'm telling you all my business. But anyways, once I reached the milestone, I said I was gonna take myself to an upscale restaurant. When I made it to 1,000 subscribers, I said I was going to get myself a what the book's called, the Apple books, the MacBooks. I wanted to get one of those for my business. That's what I said I was going to do for that. So how about I told you I met all the milestones. I didn't even give myself a chance. The Lord didn't even give me a chance. The little goals that I set, I had no exceeded that, right? Within a month, I had no exceeded my little 1,000 subscribers. The Lord said, I'm gonna show you, you making plans for this small stuff. I'm gonna show you what I'm going to do because you were obedient. And girl, God blew my mind. Y'all, God blew my mind. I didn't even have time to keep up. I'm still crossing off my little goals that I set for myself. I'm still trying to fulfill those, right? I'm still trying to fulfill those. God blew my mind. He just said, you know what? Let me take you. Excuse me. He said, let me get my bag, my tissue. He said, let me take you. Let me show you what I'm going to do. And he took that channel and blew on that channel, and it just blew up. 3 months, I was at 5,000 subscribers. I mean, just blew up. I'm like, wow, we couldn't even keep up, start keeping up. Made it to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I'm like, this thing is growing every night. I was growing leaps and bounds. I think I was getting 100 subscribers per day. It was growing so fast. It was growing so fast. But that was one of my goals. I'm going to take myself to this nice restaurant, and I'm going to go. I got to make sure I know how to use my utensils and stuff. But I'm going to take myself, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to walk in that thing. I'm going to walk in that thing like on, you remember on the last holiday? I think that was Queen Latifah. Was that this holiday or last holiday? What movie that was when she thought she had cancer, and she went and cashed out all her CDs and stuff, and went to go and do all the things she said she wanted to do. And she found out she wasn't going to die. The guy read the CAT scan wrong. Y'all know that movie. What movie is that? What movie is that? But that's how I'm going to do. When she went to that restaurant and she went in there by herself, and the man who she worked for, he was in there cheating on his wife. And they were over there hating on Queen Latifah because she walked up in that thing like she owned the place. That's how I'm going to be. And I'm going to be down there, downtown, sitting in there like... Yeah, the last holiday quest. I'm gonna be sitting that thing, sitting all up. You know, my little nails done. Look, sitting all up, looking cute. I'm gonna gel my little hair up. You ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing, okay? You're welcome, JR. You're welcome, dear. I just try to keep it honest, keep it real. I'm just being honest. Being honest. But I'm gonna go in that thing like I own it. You hear me? I'm gonna be up in there like, oh yeah, I belong here. I belong here. This is where I'm supposed to be. Oh, okay, yes. Set me a private chef. Okay. And claiming somebody gonna pay that meal for me while I'm sitting in there eating all them people food. Although I could afford it, it's gonna be favor, okay? I'm gonna be sitting in there just glistening and glowing and shining. And I'm ready to. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. That's what we have to do. That's self-care. Reward yourself. And that's another thing I used to do. Let me tell you another thing I used to do. And I'm going to say this. I had to go get my son and go. Another thing I used to do is I used to wait for people to celebrate me. I used to wait for people to celebrate me. Right? I used to wait for people to cheer me on. I used to be, because I was so rejected, I didn't heal myself. I used to wait for people to validate me, waiting for people to say I did a good job, pat me on my back. You know, I was waiting. And I stopped that foolishness. I started celebrating myself. I started doing the things because I want to do them, not because I want people to say I did a good job. I celebrate myself, and that's the best thing I could have started doing for myself. That is the best thing I could have started doing for myself, is celebrating me. And it feels so good. It don't have to be nothing big. And that's the thing. It don't have to be nothing big, because what I realized, this when I had my graduation party. When I graduated, I think I graduated with my bachelor's. I want to say my bachelor's, maybe my master's degree. When I graduated, I said I was going to have myself a party. And I did. And I invited all these people. And some of them people did not even show up. Some of them people didn't show up. I thought they was going to show up. And at that time, I was so disappointed because I rented out this nice little event thing, and a lot of the people didn't show up for me. And that was that day that the Lord taught me and showed me that you can't be waiting. And that was a lesson in that. Although it hurt at the time, I appreciate that time. He showed me whenever you are elevating, you're not going to have people the people who you think want to celebrate you are not going to be here. They're not going to be happy for your elevation. They're not going to be happy and celebrate you. And I felt a lot of that from people. I felt a lot of that because, see, people have a limit. They have a perception of you. And then when you break free from that perception, oh, they can't stand you now, right? You the problem. Something wrong with you. You think you better than people now because you want to elevate. right? They have that perception of you. But I was so hurt at that time. I was so hurt that a lot of the people who I thought was going to be there didn't come. And guess what? Ever since then, I said, you know what? I'm not going to stop celebrating me. But what I am going to do is I'm going to celebrate it with the people I know for sure who's going to be there. Because I did invite people who I felt that wasn't going to be there. And I thought because they were family or they were close to me at that time, I thought they would come and celebrate my accomplishment. Oh, no. Them be the ones that don't come. Them be the ones that don't come. But I'm glad the people who were there, I remember those people. And, you know, I'll know to invite them again. But the ones who didn't come, oh, they'll never get an invitation from me again. Ever. Ever. Ever, ever. Never, ever. And that's okay. I don't hate them or nothing. But they just taught me. Don't be looking for people to celebrate me. I started celebrating myself. That's the best thing I could have done, is to celebrate me. Yes, he will move people in places. And I'm glad he did, because those people didn't deserve where I'm going now, where I'm headed at now. I don't need that type of energy. I don't need that type of energy around me. But I have to go, you all. I'm glad I was able to come out here and talk to you all. I said for a little bit. Look, it's 75 minutes in with my long-winded self up in here, right? Yes, validated myself. But I had to deal with that, and I'm okay, right? I'm okay. I grew from that, and I'm okay. Now I understand. I had to do a lot of work on myself, right? And that's what birthed this channel. That's why you're here celebrating. This is one of my accomplishments, this channel. So you all be blessed. It was nice talking.